Hey, beautiful people and you bitches who just don't fit the bill. Welcome back to the Get Up podcast.
Wait, I wasn't right.
I just want to say I was looking at a post on
Mhm.
Twitter the other day where they were saying all of the different like planets or whatever that are in Aries right now because everybody was
Mhm.
like, what the fuck is going on
It's an
and
Aries
why
stellium.
yeah, why everybody beefing? Why is everybody popping off? Like what is this energy?
It's
And I
literally
just want
that.
to exactly, I just want to say, if you bitches feel crazy now, imagine how I feel every day. I want the smoke all the time. So welcome, you know? It was funny because I
Oh my-
post on Instagram that a day, like usually for every astrological season, I feel like the girls are always like, this is the time to reflect. This is the time to like let
No,
things
this is not
go.
if you buck season. Like
Exactly.
I have a client that I do, and I'm doing like an astrological outlook for the entire astrological year. I do remember writing in her outlook about this Aries stellium, giving her warnings about like, hey, fanaticism, temper, but also just like find something physical to do to release that energy. For everybody who's feeling particularly like triggered by all this Aries energy, it's fire energy. The easiest way to calm down fire energy is to move your body, stomp your feet, scream, go for a run, even a walk, whatever it takes, do something
Throw shit.
physical. To throw things is really
Yeah.
helpful. So when Dylan was younger, because Dylan is an Aries sun, but he also has a lot of fire in his chart. I take him outside and I used to let him like crush like ice on the sidewalk.
Hmm.
Like I used to encourage him to scream. I would let him punch pillows, like
Hmm.
move your body, do something physical. Go to a hit class, go to like a cardio thing. Like if you didn't think you were a cardio girly, baby, let this Aries stellium show you how much of a cardio girly you can be. Okay. But
Listen,
yeah,
I
shout out
just
to this Aries energy.
personally is my
Fight.
favorite time
Also
of year.
fight. If you listen, if you are in some sort of like, I just feel like all these rap dudes that's beefing, they just need to fight.
They
Like
need
if
to
they
square
just
up.
they need to literally like physically fight. Like I feel like fighting is so slept on. And like even animals in the wild, like sometimes a fight needs to happen. And
Hmm.
the law, I know the law is a thing or whatever, but have a fair fight.
Find you a nice little desert, a little empty parking lot where nobody ain't gonna call
Mhm.
the police. Don't go to a white neighborhood and fight.
Yeah,
Go
no, and make
go where
sure
you
that
know we gonna be like, oh, they fighting.
yeah, right. And make sure there's like rules of
Let's square up.
engagement, right? Like we agree that we are getting into this fight. May the best person win. None of us are calling the cops. None of us are pressing
Hmm.
charges. We're fighting at our own risk and just go fucking fight. Like go
And this
fucking
message is
fight.
not endorsed or sponsored by any other people that you just heard in the first 4 minutes of the podcast, by the way. This is just
Yeah, because our sponsors would probably not approve.
this is just me and Nisha
Especially the
say, go fight.
therapists. Cause we like, girl, just go fucking fight. Sometimes a physical fight is needed.
That that's just the energy right that's just the worldwide energy right now is everybody squaring up. Everybody, there's people right now, JT and fucking Suki down line arguing on
Not
Twitter.
Suki. I
Suki
love
just dropped a
Okay,
diss track on JT. Like I didn't even know she'd a rap.
I know Suki was a rapper. Here's the thing. I don't know why she did a diss track on
Yeah,
JT,
I don't know what
but
it's
JT
about.
is beefing with too many people at this point. Listen, I'm a common denominator kind of girl. And
Yeah.
at some point we have to stop and say, why is JT beefing with so many fucking people?
She
Like,
because she has the energy of that lady who claimed her as a favorite. She all of a
ooh,
sudden, before everybody, she taking on that same kind of energy.
that's crazy to me. I would never align myself with somebody that beefing with so many people. That's number one. But yeah, I'm gonna go check out because I love me some Suki. I don't know. It's something
Yeah,
about that Sukiana. I love her.
exactly. But no, yeah, everybody's riled up online. I fucking love it. That's the kind of energy that sometimes I don't need it. Sometimes I need the wall to feel externally the way I don't feel internally all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's very true.
I support confrontation. I think that so many of us are conflict averse, and I think next season we're gonna definitely talk about like conflict avoidance.
Yeah.
I think so many people are conflict averse, and it comes out as passive aggression, and I feel like aggression is what really going to bring make the world a better place. We out here writing letters to politicians and shit. No, cuss them out, cuss them the fuck out, burn shit down. You
Yeah,
know,
you know what? I really am looking forward to us doing that because I am definitely one of those conflict averse girlies and I don't do the passive aggression. I just completely like remove myself
like shut
from
down.
the, yeah, I shut down completely. I go ghost. And when I'm not mad anymore is when I come back. That's not healthy either. I mean, I do process my shit, but I don't give people the satisfaction of going back and forth with them. But baby, I am entering an era in my life where I will cuss anybody to fuck out.
That's why it make me laugh. People will be like, "Oh, like hey, Isa's a feisty one. Deidre is like the chill one." I'm like, you have that
No,
very much wrong. Like I'm the
no.
feisty one on the show because I get a mouth on me. Like I love to talk shit, but I don't want me ain't gonna cuss you out. I probably ain't gonna cuss you out. I gonna probably call Deidre and call your mother a bitch when I talking to Deidre,
Oh yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
not going to cuss you out for the most part, unless you really get me fucked up. Like there have been
yeah.
situations where somebody had me really fucked up and I wait up. But I have to say, just that's the energy of this season. And I actually do enjoy it. I've been in a corner giggling to myself watching Io fight for like a month now. And it's
They've
just
been at it.
really, yeah, it's really
Yeah.
entertaining. So with that, I thought I think we should start the episode where people spotted being good up, start the
Okay.
episode off on a positive note. So do you
Do
want
you
to
want to
go
go
first?
first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my people spotted being good up. It's not a person. It's the 80 plus people who are patrons of the Good Up podcast because holy shit,
You
there
love
are
y'all.
80 plus people who
Wow.
don't
Y'all
run
really
me
fuck with
their
us.
money every month. What do you
Wow.
mean? No, man, let me not say it like that. There are 80 plus people who
Who
want
see
to
the value in
support
our
the show, who
content.
see the value
Mhm.
in our content and give a minimum of $1 a month. There are people who give more, but you guys are literally helping to keep the lights on. You're helping us to do what we do,
Wow.
and that's amazing.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
gosh.
we
Thank you
started off with
guys.
zero, so we didn't
Look at
always have a
that.
Patreon.
That's true. And it just continues to grow. I'm so grateful for every single one of y'all. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot to both of us. I love that you guys see the value in our content. I
Mhm.
want to continue to do my part to deliver to y'all what y'all are giving us money for. Like,
Yeah.
wow, y'all could spend your money anywhere and you choosing to spend it with us. That shit is crazy. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I appreciate y'all so much for what you have allowed us to do over the years and what you're gonna keep helping us to do. And yeah, Patreon will be jokes like our Discord chat. It's I ain't gonna say that it'll be riled up all the time. Like we in there chilling, but the shit that'll be seen in the Discord chat sometimes they have me
you.
cackling. Yeah, I love interacting with y'all outside of the show. So if you've been looking for a way to like actually talk to us about the episodes, like chat with us while you listening, give us feedback, or just like ask questions about the episode. Like the Patreon is the best place to do it. We literally have like a private group chat with all of our patrons. Well, we'll be talking shit. So, join the
It's
VIP
fun. Come
community.
join. I just got a cool idea. Let me know what you think about it. I was thinking maybe we could raffle off one or two tickets to the live event for just to the patrons. And then even if the person who wins doesn't live in Atlanta, they can gift it to somebody that they know who
Mhm.
lives in Atlanta. Yeah?
I think that's a good idea.
So we're gonna raffle off two tickets for our patrons. And it's only patrons who get entered into the raffle. So we'll announce that on Instagram because obviously this is gonna air well later on down the road. But I
Mhm.
think that's a really good people spotted being good up.
Yeah, I
Love
love
that.
Ayo.
My person being good up is my good friend Amanda Hinds. I don't know if she's comfortable with her full name being on here. I think she is. She's
Hi,
anyway.
Amanda.
Amanda is better known on all her social platforms as at Self Love Cycle. She is an a spin instructor at Cycle Bar. She and I used to work together. She is a fitness influencer, a plus size fitness influencer, and she is the reason why I fell in love with indoor cycling. I wanted to take time to highlight her. Mia was on a phone right before I started recording, and I just love her so much. And I'm like, you know what? That's my person being good up because she's gone viral multiple times for being very transparent and sharing her journey to becoming a fitness instructor. And again, that woman is the reason why I fell in love with spin classes and indoor cycling. I've always enjoyed fitness. But the one thing I never enjoyed was indoor cycling. Like every time I'd gone to a spin class, I would be like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm miserable. I hate this. How do these people love this shit? But by the time when I took one of her classes, and I only took her class because usually any kind of fitness instructor, especially if they're doing group fitness, they do what's called community classes before they actually are on a roster to teach. And those community classes are basically free classes so they could teach real classes before they're like being paid to, like before the, members of the studio pay to teach. So obviously I was following that Cycle Bar location and they posted her community class. And for one, I booked the class just because it was a Black woman. Like, I'm like, oh, because that was my first time seeing like a Black instructor and all this, especially in the part of Jersey I was in. So I signed up for the class just off the strength of this Black woman. I hated spin, mind you, but I was like, you know what? This Black woman teaching it, I gotta support her. Y'all, I took this woman class and I was on my bike crying because I realized I didn't hate spin. I just didn't feel welcome there, if that makes sense. I actually fucking love spin. I was having the time of my life. The playlist was bomb. She's also a member of the Beehive, period. So I was doing the class and I'm able to keep up in class and I'm having the best time. My chest wasn't even hotting. And then I realized it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying spin. I didn't feel seen or included in the classes that I was taking because it was usually like non-Black people who have like very Taylor Swift kind of playlists. Like the music wasn't
Yeah.
hitting, like, but I recognized, oh shit, I just needed an instructor who's like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I needed somebody who looked like me, and she's plus size, so we don't look that the same in that regard. But at the end of the day, we're both curvy women, we're Black women. It
Mm-hmm.
was just so nice, and that's what kind of made it click. Like, oh, that's what's missing in the fitness space is instructors who look like me. So that's my person being good up, because that's part of why she does what she does, and she does it very well, I might add. Amanda is an amazing instructor. It'd be feeling like church in her classes.
Mm-hmm.
So for one, if you're in New Jersey or even in New York, because she teaches in Jersey City, so you could get there from New York. Um, Take one of her classes. Follow Jersey Cycle Bar in Jersey City. She teaches in Montclair as well. Either way, give her a follow. That's my person being good up. Hmm.
Shout out to you, girl. Shout out to you.
My
That's very
baby
fitting
girl.
for the topic of today's episode too. So I love it.
Oh,
All right. The hills that we're dying on. I want you to go first because I've been waiting to express my hill for a while. So
okay. I'm gonna do my hill first. I am going to. This one is going to kind of come out of left field, but I don't give a fuck. Um, stop stop trying to do love spells on people. Okay? Just stop.
that man don't want you. He
That
don't
man
want
that won't,
you.
cause man, let me don't get it twisted. These men be out here trying to do love spells too. These men don't call over
She
a
don't
woman
want you,
real quick.
Papa.
If you have to do a love spell on somebody, that is not your fucking person. Okay? If you want to be tapping into Obia and magic and all them thing, do stuff to enhance yourself, right? Enhance that bank account, enhance your riz or whatever the kids call it, instead of trying to bend free will and trying to make people be something or do something that they're clearly not meant to do or be. Baby, focus on yourself. Love spells, from one, this is obviously for people who actually believe in like voodoo and magic and obia and all that shit. I do happen to believe in those things. But what I will never encourage is a love spell. I'm tired of going on TikTok and seeing people who just learned about fucking money jars or whatever, giving people instructions on how to make somebody obsessed with them. Why would you want somebody to be obsessed with you? That is dangerous. Obsession is not healthy.
Weirdo
Having somebody
behavior.
obsessed with you is crazy. And what always happens, I've heard too many stories. I've seen it for myself. When you do love spells on somebody, especially somebody that's not meant to be your person, that person does indeed become obsessed with you, and it can become fatal. That person could be so obsessed with you that they will murk your ass. Okay. You might end up tied to somebody who's abusive, or they may be abusive with you. Like, here's the thing about like magic and all that shit. Something has to be given in order to get what you're asking for. So, yeah, you might do this love spell on this person. This person might become your partner, but you know what you're giving up? You never know. You might be giving up your peace. That person might be beating your ass. That person may lose their job, and now you have to support the both of you. There's so many ways that love spells backfire on people. Stop doing them. It's not worth it. There's too many people in the world for you to go that far for one person. If
Hmm.
that person don't want you, baby, find another one. Okay, especially if you're a woman listening to this, because men are low-hanging fruit.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay? I'm sorry to say it, but the reality is most men are not single. Men who are single typically aren't single by choice. Okay? Find a man who want to be with somebody. You could if you so desperate to have a man that you would do a love spell, baby, go find you a man who looking for a wife.
Being a male listener to this podcast got me hard. Dog.
Like I'm just like I'm so tired of seeing women doing like love spells and all that shit. Back in the day, like
Woo.
way back in the olden days when women couldn't have bank accounts of their own and shit, that's when love spells made sense because those women were protecting themselves and their children from the possibility of becoming homeless if their man left them. Right. So they had to, like, I get it. Like, you have to protect your survival. So, yeah, you do your little spells. And at for them, it was just, I don't care if this man cheating on me or whatever, as long as he don't leave because he is my lifeline. He is paying my bills. Right. It made sense back in those days. Um, Now there's really no reason to be doing that shit. And again, a lot of those women who are doing love spells, let me tell you, the kind of karma that go down your bloodline when you do them kind of thing, your grandchildren and great grandchildren that have to clean up them messes. I just want to see y'all stop doing love spells. If you must do a little magic, baby, make a money jar. Make a money jar.
Or just I I don't want to shut any of it down, but I just like y'all need to start being more accepting of what life is going to give you. Like you need to stop
Hello.
fighting like hell to keep people that don't want to be kept. You need to stop
Facts.
trying to hold on to people by the fucking last two strands that they hear that they're giving
Mm-hmm.
you. Like
It's
if
true.
somebody don't want to be with you and you out here begging for them, you look dumb.
Yeah, it's
How
it's
many times must I
bad.
say it? Stand the fuck up. Stand
Stand
up.
up. That, but let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you this: what's meant for you will never pass you by. Not everything is meant to be permanent. Some people come into your life just for a season. You're probably just meant to learn how to be a specific type of partner with that partner. That person might have just come into your life to help prepare you for the person that's really meant for you. Because I'm gonna tell y'all this: people don't fumble what they don't want to lose. Like, the person who's meant for you is not gonna fumble you.
Yeah.
If you dealt with somebody who cheated on you and disrespecting you and you think you need to do love spells and
Or
all this
even
fuck to
just
get them to
somebody
stop,
who indifferent, even if they're not treating you poorly, but they're not treating you the way that you want to be treated, and you
find
know
somebody who
deep down
will
in your
treat you.
soul,
Yeah,
like,
that's the bottom line is if you know, decide what you need. First of all, center yourself, right? Decide what you want for yourself, from yourself and from a partner. Determine what a healthy relationship, a good relationship for you looks like. Determine what your ideal partner looks like and don't say yes to anything that's not that.
yeah,
Okay?
period,
That's the fucking love spell you need to be doing. That's
period,
the fucking, you set your intention. This is the kind of partnership I want to be in. This is how I want to be in that partnership. And this is the kind of partner I want to show up for me in this partnership. And don't be looking for what you could get in a relationship, but not ready to determine what you're going to bring to the relationship. Okay. Determine what an ideal partnership looks like for you. And do not enter a partnership that doesn't match what you've already determined for yourself. Period.
period.
It just is what it is. All the time you spend in looking outside for a relationship, focus on yourself. Develop some new skills. Make time for your fucking friends that you keep abandoning every time you get a new a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay? Spend time with your fucking kids. Exercise. Learn how to cook a fucking random dish from a different country. There's so many
Touch
things you could be
grass,
doing. Touch grass.
you know?
That's a good start. Okay. It's a very good start. Make a new fucking playlist. Listen to one of my playlists. So many things you could do. But that's the hill I'm
Just
dying on.
just stand the fuck up.
Oh,
All right. The hill that I'm dying on. And somehow I gonna touch you when I say this. If you are still on the internet, fully taking part in St. Croix versus St. Thomas beef, that's not joking, that's not lighthearted, that because at the end of the day, we siblings, right? We grew up
yeah.
in the same territory. We have slightly different, varied experiences of being Virgin Islanders. We gonna banter, we gonna kiki back and forth.
One is just adopted and the other is not. I'm
You
kidding.
know,
That's like what I think siblings say to each other all the time. There's always the one sibling
my
who's told,
sisters that call me FedEx, so I feel you. I am the adopted sibling according to my family. So, but
FedEx is crazy.
if it's not lighthearted joking, and you, for all intents and purposes, every time somebody carnival come around, you going on the internet to talk shit, about the other island, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah,
You
that's
are a
weird.
loser. That is
We's one
loser
Virgin Islands.
energy. We's one Virgin Islands, first of all. But second of all, grow up. Like you looking at people shaking ass. Imagine island beef when you could be shaking your ass. Carnival going on. Big
Yeah.
juve, big fet. It get girls out here wearing thongs. Cheeks is out. And
No,
instead of
everybody had looked so
enjoying,
good.
everybody had looked so fucking good for St. Thomas Carnival. Instead of enjoying the beauty that is our culture, the beauty that is being able to go out into the street and party and dance and shake your ass. Because trust me, as somebody who live in the States, these people up here, if they could only do that every couple of months, maybe they might
Yeah.
be able to calm down just a little bit. We get to do
Yeah.
that 3 times a year. 3 times a year. We get three of them
Legit.
bitches. Okay. It's unlike any other island territory, whatever experience ever. And y'all, instead of going out there and having fun, or instead of being like looking at your feed and smiling to yourself, looking at all these beautiful, amazing Virgin Islands women, what are you doing? Starting island beef over who get the best food. Starting island beef over who get the best juve. Over which island you think boring. Shut the fuck
Mhm.
up. And what'll awk me even more is that it would be one person, right, who can't spell, who obviously used to leave school at 12 o'clock to go McDonald's and obviously didn't stay long enough to understand how to write a full sentence, right? It's one person. It's not a group of people. It's not a gaggle of people. It's not a whole bunch of people. It's always one person. But then everybody, they get
The
riled up
chime.
and
Yeah.
start chiming in and responding to this one person. One, why are we giving that person attention? Two, that person is a loser. Three, done
Make
it.
sure you text me and tell me who it be. But I also don't
I
want to
don't
see
even
their
know
post
who it
because
was.
I
I
have
just
very little tolerance for like the
yeah.
misspellings
I
and the
don't know
yeah.
the person personally. I saw one post that seemed to rile everybody else up. And
Yeah.
I say all of that to say, like, inter island beef is loser energy. It really is. If you're not kikiing and joking, like I have Tommy and friends. I don't talk to my Tommy and friends every day, and we don't go back and forth here and there about like the differences in how we talk and like all of this stuff. But if
Yeah.
you truly invested in inter island beef like that, people like they'll get to the point of like talking about how other people from certain islands look and how certain women from certain islands do act. And like in some cases, yeah, it's fun and jokes, but lately a lot of the content that I see online is just it's very vitriolic and it's very
Yeah.
stupid and it's very we have better things to be talking about. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like,
Yeah.
oh, we got bigger issues to focus on. Like, no, we could joke, we could kiki. I gonna still say to this day, Rockman is number 2 on my list for a reason. But like, it's fun and
Hey, big up all
jokes.
the Westman them.
And Westman is still number 1. I didn't set to marry them though. I just want to say this is another hill I gonna die on. All I was like, oh, hey, I just said Westman is number 1, so the man I gonna end up with is a West. No, I didn't set
Baby
to
girl,
marry them.
if you want to get killed for the rest of your life, Maria Westman.
Y'all need to go back and see what episode that was and what we was actually talking about in that episode for me
Yeah,
to
we
rate
weren't talking
Westman
about
number 1. I
marriage,
wasn't
babe. We
talking
were
about
talking about
marriage.
something very specific and it was not
It was
marriage.
exactly. Anyway, a lot to say.
Why are we so trifling?
A lot to say. And I'm gonna wrap up, I promise. But it's frustrating to see y'all do this every single carnival when we should be celebrating. Couple years ago, we had 2 major hurricanes come and
And rock our shit.
literally rag our shit up, right? We lost a lot of people in terms of people having to leave the islands.
Right.
We
Yeah.
almost weren't able to come back and have carnival the way we would normally have it. To be able to do that every year, to be able to be with each other in fellowship is a blessing.
Yeah.
And y'all to come and see something that should be so much fun and such a beautiful thing, and you don't just shit on it every year, and it'll
Every
blow my
time.
mind. Go
Yeah.
out there, put on your feathers, shake your ass, and shut the fuck up.
Honestly, like literally, just do those things
Put
in that
on a dress
order.
wrap around your head and touch grass. Go
Yeah.
shake your ass or something. We tired of hearing it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's my
It's really
hill.
just it's a good hill. I
On
like it
my
a
hill,
lot.
Pumper performing on my hill at
Mm.
6 o'clock.
And Adam, oh,
And
oh,
Adam,
oh.
oh, he up there
Hey
too. And
Adam.
Money is
Yeah.
the headliner on my hill too.
Monet is the hi Monet. Oh, I am so in love with Monet. I love her.
Yeah,
God, I
just
love her.
Just
Monet,
Ayo
come back to
relax,
the show,
man.
please.
Stop
Like
doing that
Monet,
that island beef shit. Just relax. And Monet,
it's
yeah,
weird. Yeah.
come back. We love you.
Yeah.
Um,
All right,
all
girl. I
that being
like to that
said,
hill. I'm coming over. I'll bring some iced coffee with me.
thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much. All that being said, none of what we've been talking about so far is what today's episode is about, but it had some things we had to get off our chest.
Yeah.
Today's episode, I thought it would be good. So we've always talked about being good up in the sense of mental health. Like we've really gone into the mental and emotional health. And I think it's time for us to talk about being good up in the sense of physical health. Um, a lot of us don't get to think about our physical health very often, or we think about our
Hmm.
physical health in a very aesthetic way, as far as how we
Mm,
want to look and not
yeah.
necessarily how we want to feel physically or how we are taking
Yeah.
care of our bodies. So I don't know if you knew, bitches, but your body is literally the vessel that is like carrying you through this life. And if you don't start fucking
That's
acting like it soon, you might hit 30 and shit gonna start cracking and aching, bitch. So I am not the most experienced person in terms of physical fitness. I think this is a very good episode for Deidre to be front and center. Um, but I wanted to talk about just physical health holistically and what that looks
hmm
like and things we could be doing even in small ways to take better care of our bodies. Because at the end of the day, our bodies age and our bodies deteriorate. And
It's
if we
true.
don't start taking care of them, speaking of Juve, we gonna talk about it. Y'all can't be out here drinking like fucking like you can't be out here drinking away with a drink all the time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not
That's not
healthy.
it's really not. It's really
It's
not.
fun, but it's not healthy long
Yeah, it's
term.
not good for us and it does have long-term negative effects on us. It just is
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah,
So
this is an exciting topic.
yeah. So I actually wanted to start, Deidre. You've been on a significant fitness journey for the past, I would say what, this has been 2.5 years yet or two
Yeah.
years.
It's been
So
yeah. We're
so two,
approaching year 3 actually this summer.
yeah.
We're approaching
And
year 3 and it's more
you
so consistency.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you've gotten really consistent with it. It's become a huge part of your life. And I wanted you to kind of talk about, where were you at almost 3 years ago that made you want to dedicate this type of time to your body? And
hmm
what did it take for you to get to that point of consistency? Like,
hmm
what made you go like, okay, I gotta get my shit together?
So you know the thing is I've always been one of my biggest goals for myself since I was like 18, even younger, was to have fitness be a part of my everyday life. I just never had the circumstances to support that. Even like I remember Dylan being a baby and me, working out and stuff, but consistency has always been the missing key. So the thing that made it easy for me to remain consistent was, for one, I had put on a lot of weight during the pandemic. So for one, I didn't like the way I felt. I was getting winded fast. Walking wasn't fun like it used to be. Let me tell you, I call me Jill Scott, because one thing I'm gonna take is a long walk. I love going on long walks, but my walks were not as fun as they were back in the day because my heart rate was trash. Like my physical well-being was really, it had deteriorated significantly. So it was just that. I had put on a lot of body fat, more than I was used to, and I didn't like the way I felt. I did used to deal with like inflammation in my knees and random pains here and there, and I just didn't like it. And I just kind of, without even access to like professionals or anything, I just kind of knew like moving my body is probably what's gonna make a lot of these things that I'm feeling better. So I remember laying in bed one night. Actually, I what I did before I got to the point where I was consistently at the gym, because I would get gym memberships and end up wasting a lot of money because I never used to show up at the gym and things such as that. But I remember I kind of came up with something that was sustainable. And I started with, again, I went back to my long walks and I was like, I'm gonna keep walking until I enjoy it again. Like until like long walks are fun again, I'm gonna just do this shit because there was a time I loved it. So why don't I love it? Let me figure out why. And I just would get right back up and take a long walk. And so what started was me taking these long walks back before I broke my Apple Watch. I would literally take a walk and I wouldn't stop walking until my exercise ring closed.
Mm.
And I didn't care how long that walk was, whether it was half hour or 2 hours. I was like, I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna pace myself. Some of my walks used to be really slow. Some of them used to be a little bit more fast paced, but I did not stop walking until my exercise ring closed. Um, and then eventually the walking wasn't enough. Like I was obviously enjoying my walks, but then I was like, okay, let me do a little bit more. So then I would take like a 1 to 2 mile walk and then I would rent a city bike and ride around for like half hour on my bike. And then the biking wasn't enough. So then I just slowly just added more and more. Um, but even me doing that, it was because the year prior, I would start a fitness routine and I would get injured, like seriously injured to the point where I had to take like a month off and then I would be right back to square one. And so I ended up getting to the point where I started working with professionals because that was a missing piece. And once, baby, once I started working with professionals, it was just like it was just up and I never like have been able to stop.
I love that. One thing I want to point out is that you talked about that gradual increase in fitness. I think that's
Mm.
so important to talk about because I think sometimes people, when they're specifically when people are motivated, what the fuck is going on with me today? When people are motivated by dissatisfaction with their bodies to
Mhm.
jump into a fitness journey, they don't always, it feels like y'all will always go from, and I saying y'all because I didn't there too, 0 to 1,000 when it comes to
Mhm.
fitness. It goes from not doing any kind of movement with your body or exercise whatsoever to you in the gym every day,
Mhm.
in an extreme like deficit as far as like your calories when you eat, you're going to
Yes.
extreme dieting.
Mhm.
And for you, it was as simple as, I want to move my body. So I'm gonna start moving my body in whatever way that looks like. And then this stops feeling like enough because my body's gotten used to it. Let me move on to the
Let me
next
do
stage.
more.
Okay, yeah.
But I only was able to do that because the very person you just described, that was me the year prior. I
Mm-hmm.
would be like, I would go to the gym, I would do a normal workout, but that workout was too much for what my body could handle.
Mm-hmm.
And I would end up injured. And it was just a lot. So then I kind of, again, after taking a couple months off for being injured, like I ended up hospitalized at one point. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really put my body through hell. I was like, okay, Deidre, like, because even like that time that I hospitalized myself, I was in the hospital bed in excruciating pain and I still wanted to move my body. I still was like, as soon as I'm better, I'm getting right back to this shit. But I had to pace myself. And that's where I started from literally walking, something that didn't hurt at all. And walking is so slept on.
Yep.
Like walking is such an effective workout. It helps with balancing your hormones. Obviously that movement, it
It
helps with
lowers
your heart rate,
cholesterol, if
lowers your
y'all didn't know.
cholesterol, your blood flow. Like walking is so slept on. Let me tell you, some of the buffest people you know, those people who be in the gym 7 days a week, baby, those motherfuckers be walking too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Walking is way too slept on. So, and that's the other thing. If you don't have the resources to invest in a gym membership and all that, baby, take a nice long walk.
Go outside. And
Go outside and take a
I
walk.
think walking is one of the most slept on like forms of physical fitness,
It is.
because it also has those added benefits. Like, yeah, going to the gym has benefits on your mental health, but walking is like the
Mm-hmm.
anytime you go to therapy, and if y'all in therapy gang, as soon as you to talk about being depressed or having that anxiety, what your therapist to ask you, do you go for walks? Do you
Do
spend
you
time
go for
outside?
walks?
You
Yep.
need to be outside. That whole touching, you could touch grass while doing a brisk little stroll in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. It's true. It's true. And so, and even that's an example of like why I said like I use walking to really get on track because
mm,
I love a good walk. And I got to a point where I didn't enjoy walks. And I'm like, okay, why do I not like walks? This is crazy. I remember when I used to work at my corporate job, the part of New Jersey where that office, that corporate office is such a beautiful part of New Jersey. Me and Daniela used to literally use our lunch break to take walks.
yeah.
We would eat our lunch at our desk and then we would take a walk around. We would walk the entire parking lot, like just do laps around the parking lot for the duration of our lunch break. And that would equal to like a little over a mile.
Mm-hmm.
One, because the scenery outside was nice, but two, it was a form of us moving our bodies and then we
Yeah.
would catch up. You know what I mean? So when I realized like I didn't enjoy walks, I was like, nah, I got to do something about it. So I started with my walks, progressed to biking, and then I started going back to the gym once biking was not enough. And so I would hop into like a little Zumba class here or there. I would go on the treadmill and do that 3, 12, 30 or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
I just slowly progressed and then eventually I got comfortable using like the machines and stuff. And then that's when I met my old trainer and I would take classes with him. I worked with him exclusively for a few months. And that's baby, when I added strength training to my routine, that's when the results just was like, like
Yeah.
it was insane. And I fell in love with strength training. It was just like, oh my gosh. So I was doing strength training a couple times a week. I took boxing classes. I love boxing. And so then my fitness journey, if you will, it went from me doing something to get like results and like lose weight because I was like a lot heavier than I was used to. Um, so it went from me aiming to lose weight to me finding things that I enjoy doing because I got to a point where I did reach my goals, right? I had lost the amount of weight I intended to lose. I wouldn't say it was a significant body recomposition because this is my normal physique, but I had to lose the weight that I had put on
Mm-hmm.
and start building more muscle. So once I successfully lost that weight, I kind of found myself getting a little like, what now? And I'm like, well, you maintain it. You keep it up.
Yeah.
You keep doing this so you don't lose it. And so then I said, okay, let me make this fun. And for me and Daima were just laughing about it because I said I genuinely love working out. Like I feel bad for people who don't enjoy working out, and I never judge them because the thing is a lot of people see working out as like a chore or like a
Mm-hmm.
responsibility or something boring. For me, it's fun. It's like, you know how the guys love their video games?
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's physical activity. I love moving my body. The thing that I tend to do is I always try to see what my body can do. Sometimes
Mm.
I'll go and I'll do like, I'll put a Bosu ball on the ground and I'll balance on it and like do like bent over rows. Like I like to use working out as an opportunity to challenge myself and see what I can do. You know how little kids be trying to balance on like ledges and
Yeah.
they be like, see, that's what I do when I'm at the gym. After I
Yeah.
do my set, I'm like, let me see what I can do. And because I'm an adult, right, with a fully developed brain, I try to avoid going too far because I have too much to lose, right? I can't afford to break my arm. I can't afford to fracture my ankle again. Like because it's gonna impact my entire life. So I know my limits, but I still challenge myself. And it's
Yeah.
friggin' fun.
Yeah.
It's really
I
fun.
I think for me, my fitness journey has been complicated because my fitness journey has always been in court, like really deeply embedded in like fat phobia and just
Mm,
like the way that I grew up. So for me, where I'm trying to go with fitness now is trying to detach it from fat phobia and from body image and kind of
mm,
base it on just moving my body, base it on
yes.
just like how it feels, my mental health, all of that good stuff. um, but I will say I was definitely one of those people who would go to the gym for the sole purpose of like, okay, I need to lose this many pounds and I need to go hard and
Mm,
I need to like, eat grass for the next month and a half. I had very unhealthy practices of like
mm-hmm.
getting and it was never, I will say, it was never about any kind of connection to my body. It was never about making my
Mm,
body feel good. It was always about how I wanted to look. And I think there's nothing
mm.
wrong with
There's nothing wrong
having
with that.
fitness goals according to how you want to look. But I think when they're based in fat phobia, it could become very toxic real fast.
Yeah.
So I think an important thing to remember in terms of like your physical health and your body goals and all of that is like have your body goals, but always make sure that you are in touch with why those goals exist, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you being honest with yourself about why those goals exist, because we want obviously like there's nothing fat phobic about wanting a thinner body, I think. But there is fat phobia embedded in how you feel about your body now. If you think that there is something like inherently wrong with
Agreed.
being heavier, right? Like
Absolutely
that's
agree.
where
I
that
agree.
conversation will come in. So
Mm-hmm.
for me is always, and again, y'all have to remember, like I grew up as a fat person. So for me, I constantly have to take care of like, okay, Jay, we're going to the gym, we're gonna move our bodies, it's gonna feel really good. We're not gonna focus on how we look. Like we just
Yeah.
doing this to do it. But for me, walking has been a big part of that. Listen, I love me a little hot girl walk. I love walking so
Listen,
fucking much. It
it's
feels so
so
good.
fun. It's
It
a
feels so
like
good.
I
I hate
I
running though.
genuinely Yeah, no, so here's the thing.
Passed
I
on
don't like
running.
running. I've gotten to a point, and this is when I knew I was so proud of myself the first time I like successfully ran on the treadmill. 'Cause I just don't enjoy running.
Mm-mm.
But
How are you
again, for
going?
me, I'm hello.
Who are you running
I'm
from?
yeah, I don't really see the point. However, I understand the benefits, right? So for
Yeah.
me, I don't run, but I can. I
Mm-hmm.
just ran today on the treadmill, right? And so for me, running was again me being able to prove to myself that I can do it. Because I've
Mm-hmm.
also, when it comes to like my fitness, if there's something that I don't like doing, I challenge myself to do it anyway. Like not in some, oh, push your limits. I don't believe in pushing past limits. I actually I'm very like against overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do challenge myself, like, yeah, you may not like this activity, but your body should still be able to do it. And that's the challenge I
Mm-hmm.
pose to myself. So with running, as much as I hate running, I challenged myself to run. And and I like to create those little challenges for myself because I like
Mm-hmm.
to like check them off and be like, yo, I fucking did that shit. With
Mm-hmm.
running, what I did, I have this really bomb ass fucking playlist that I work out to. I don't work out to it all the time. I work out to it when I'm at the gym and I need to like work through some stuff. Like I got some fucking energy I need to let out. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
very aggressive and rough playlist. But what I do is what I did was I said, okay, my goal is to run the entire duration of a specific song. So I went and I walked the first song. And then once that song ended and we were getting ready to transition to the next song, I upped the speed and I ran the entire song. And
Mm-hmm.
then once that song was done, I literally was so proud of myself because I'm like, bitch, you ran for an entire like 4 minute song. That was a
Mm-hmm.
big deal for me because baby, I'm not a runner or a track star. And so that became part of like whenever I'm warming up, that'll be my warm up. I'll do a 10-minute warm up and I'll start by with a walk on the treadmill. So I'll start the first minute, I'll keep a nice slow pace. And as each minute goes, I increase the speed. Once I get to 5 minutes on the treadmill, I increase the speed significantly and I run for like an
Mm-hmm.
entire song. And then I slow it down and then I do a cool down and then I get into whatever strength training or whatever I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a thing that's missing in like people being able to enjoy working out and moving their bodies is you need to customize it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's what makes me enjoy working out is because my workouts are mine and nobody else's. And that's why I enjoy it. And I think we should all challenge ourselves to do that. So start with a good walk. Um, Also try like different classes and stuff. But what I really want us to lean into and start to talk about is nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about taking physical wellness, this episode is about physical wellness. Food is a part of that, just
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. Food is a part of it. You need food to fuel your body. You cannot live if you ain't eating and hydrating. It just is what it is. Whether you're moving or not, your body literally needs food every single day in order to continue doing what it's got to do. Obviously, the more nutrient dense your foods, the more your body will benefit from the food you're putting in your body. So I hate to compare. I try to avoid like comparing humans to like objects, but sometimes it's very easy to make the analogy.
No, and I think
Um,
when it comes to food, it's important to do it like that because I think a lot of us think about food in terms of pleasure and what tastes good. And obviously food, yeah, should taste good. And like some people, if you love food, you love food. I love food. But
I'm a foodie.
yeah, like I love food, dong. My shit have to taste good
Mhm.
no matter what I'm trying to do, like
Yeah, there's no
nutrition. Yeah.
yeah.
But at the
So
same time, I think we don't look at food enough as like I am eating this to take care of myself. Like I am
exactly.
eating this to fuel my body. We don't look at
Because
it as I'm hungry, so I can eat.
I hungry. Yes, and the thing is you're doing what you're supposed to do because when you're hungry, you are supposed to eat. But
Yeah.
the question is, what are you eating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so for one, yes, when we eat, we should treat every single meal as fuel. It doesn't mean that it has to taste bad because for me, I refuse to eat anything I don't like. I'm not eating food that I don't like, and I don't even make Dylan eat food that he doesn't like. However, we do eat well. We eat a very balanced diet. I don't believe in restricting yourself at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one, and that's the thing. I'm sure people see me and they know like, oh, Deidre, I've been in the gym. I lost like 25 pounds in like maybe like 6 to 8 months. Like when I was on that journey to like when I was doing my body recomposition, I lost like 25 pounds progressively. And there was no point where I was starving myself because I don't do that starvation shit. And I also don't like to restrict myself. I love dessert. I fucking love dessert. But again, balance. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
dessert every single night. I don't have dessert with every single meal. But baby, if I'm in the mood for dessert, I'm fucking having dessert. And
Exactly.
and I'm not doing no fucking protein balls mixed with powder. No, baby. If I want some fucking ice cream, I'm having ice cream. If I want a brownie, I'm having a brownie. Once in a while, I don't binge Oreos, and I don't judge myself for it. That'll be the missing key, is because a lot of shame is associated with food, a lot of restrictions is associated, and then what happens is you are more likely to binge, you're more likely to fall off.
Hmm.
So I never got to a point where I started restricting things. Granted, there are times where I make certain sacrifices, right? Like I know that I'm preparing for something, or I know that I've been feeling a little off, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna avoid sugar for X amount of time, or I'm gonna limit my desserts, maybe just 1 or 2 desserts a week. Because, like, for instance, baby, y'all saw what I wore to Renaissance. I was wearing nothing at Renaissance, okay? I was like, and here's the thing, because a lot of bloating and stuff that we experience, it's really inflammation in our gut.
Hmm.
So, and a lot of that comes from some of the things we eat. I know I love dessert. I love my processed sugars, honey. I love things like that. So I knew, like, okay, I'm prepping for Renaissance. I know I'm pretty much going in a damn leotard with my whole ass out. I know how I want to look in that leotard. So I'm gonna avoid dessert. So I think like a month before Renaissance, I started limiting the amount of dessert I had. Did I completely cut it out? No. But where I would normally have 3 to 4 desserts a week, I went down to 1 to 2 desserts a week.
Mm.
And I still did my normal fitness routine, you know. Fortunately for me, I don't drink a lot of sugary drinks. So
Hmm.
it's easy for me to be comfortable having a lot of dessert, because I'm not one, I don't drink sodas and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't really like juice. And shout out to my mom. My mom is the reason why I don't drink a lot of sugary drinks. She used to always dilute juice for us when she would give it to us. She
Hmm.
never really gave us a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of carried that on. And even Dylan, I let him try a drink the other day. It was like some berry, something refresher, something, and he dumped it because he said it was too sweet. So which I
Yeah.
was fine with, you know. So I'm grateful that I have that type of relationship with food. But for one, back to what I was getting at, where I was like, I feel bad comparing humans to like objects. If you treat your body the way you would treat a car,
Hmm.
it's going to be a lot easier to manage your nutrition, especially if you drive a car that takes like premium fuel, right?
Hmm.
Um, and treat your food like fuel, right? What grade is this fuel? A bag of chips and a fucking random hot dog and really terrible things for you is probably like the cheapest fuel, right? It's probably
Hmm.
what you can afford. It's what is I just learned in the fuel grades. There's 93, which is like the top of the line premium or
Hmm.
whatever.
There's like
There's the
unleaded
unleaded,
premium,
whatever the
whatever.
case
Yeah, I
may
don't
be,
fucking know.
right?
I know my
So,
God, my car to take regular, and that's how I
oh,
eat too.
listen, my parents that use premium fuel, my sons.
Listen, I
But
need to start treating my body like a Mercedes in this bitch. Because right now we
exact,
Honda Civic, here, and that's fine.
and that's literally what I'm getting at, is depending on the kind of car you drive, it's going to require a certain type of
Yeah,
fuel. People with
yeah,
German, the Mercedes be requiring that premium fuel.
yeah,
Treat your body like a luxury car. Put
yeah.
premium fuel in that bitch. Change the oil regularly, right? Like changing
Mm-hmm.
the oil would be the equivalent is of going to the doctor. Make sure you're going to regular doctor's visits. Ask for specific blood work.
And that's
So you can.
such an important point.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fitness,
Yeah,
it's nutrition, but it's also going to like, and keep in mind when we say this, we know that there are people who, based on
who?
insurance, based on your employment situation, like we live in a
Yeah,
shithole country for the most
we
part. So when it
do.
comes to
We do.
access to healthcare, it's not that accessible.
It's not
Um,
very accessible, but
so
if you are in a
putting out
position where
there.
you at least have insurance, make
Mm-hmm.
sure you're going for that well visit. Make sure when you go for your well visit, I mean, they're supposed to give you lab work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
take up that doctor's time. Make sure that doctor reads that lab work and explains it to you, or
Mm-hmm.
even ask for specific things. There's certain resources that are very helpful. You guys should follow, I think it's called I forget what it's called. They used to be called Food Heaven, but now they're like Diabetes Online or something like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make sure that by the time this episode airs, I share all the like different online resources that could give
Mm-hmm.
you the tools you need to essentially invest more in your physical wellness. And investment isn't just financial, it's also a time commitment. It's even just making certain choices with food, right?
Yeah.
Making sure to at least incorporate whole foods into your diet. And when I say whole foods, I mean the overall objective is to limit the process between its original source, which is the earth, and
Mm-hmm.
your mouth, right?
Yeah.
So just a whole apple, right, is way better than some applesauce or an apple juice, because think of the process that those apples had to go through to become applesauce. They have to be pureed, and they're probably going to add sugar and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the whole apple, I mean, obviously you're not picking it from the tree, but the process between the apple you bought at the grocery store and your mouth is very limited, right? So obviously if you have an apple tree, baby, pick an apple, you know? But regardless, eat a lot of whole fruits and vegetables, eat like your whole grains. Try to avoid processed meats. Season up your food. Make that fuck taste good. Cause baby, I don't still season my food the way I've always
Mm-hmm.
seasoned it. But I make sure that my plate has like whole foods. That don't
Mm-hmm.
mean that once in a blue moon, like Dylan once in a while wants ramen, so I make him his little ramen noodles occasionally. Because that'll be the big thing is sometimes people just have a negative relationship with food, an unhealthy
Yeah.
relationship with food. Because if you restrict yourself too much, that does lead to binging. There's a lot of people who grew up with almond moms, as they call them, right? And Diamond always call me an almond mom, even though I'm not an almond mom. But there's a lot of people who grew up with like parents who are super fit and active and all that shit, but those parents really restricted their access to like sugary foods and desserts. And what
Mm-hmm.
happens is those people, once they go off on their own, they end up binging those foods
Mm-hmm.
because they have an unhealthy relationship with food, and
Yeah.
then they just become addicted to those foods, and it's just like a really bad
Yeah.
relationship. Whereas with me and Dylan, I don't do that to him. Like he asks for dessert and he already knows some nights we get dessert, some nights we don't. So when he wants dessert, he asks. Most times I say yeah. There's times when I say no, you can't have dessert tonight. Mostly that's based on what we had for dinner. It's
Mm-hmm.
based on what time we have dinner, because we tend to have dinner around the same time, but there's some nights where we have dinner later than expected. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Sometimes it's like, yo, we had dessert 2 nights in a row. We can't have this other 2 nights in a row. That's too much sugar, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
I base, when we have those things on all those different factors. I try to be
Yeah.
really balanced in the way we
But
eat.
it's yeah, and I think based on, what I know about you and Dylan, like obviously there's a understanding there and you communicate with him as far as like why you put so much thought into the things
Mm-hmm.
that you eat and why
Yeah.
it's important, and it's less, you don't make it about his body and something that he needs to change. It's more so
Yeah.
like we are taking care of ourselves and this is why we eat the way that we eat.
Exactly. And
Yeah. I
he's really balanced in that way too. Like
mhm.
he like for instance, Dylan didn't start drinking soda until last year at 9 years old.
Mhm.
And Dylan is allowed one soda a week just because soda is just so fucking bad for you, right?
Mhm.
Because I also don't really drink soda. If I have soda, it's like maybe twice a year. I'll have a Pepsi occasionally or a Coke, right? Because
Mhm.
I'm craving the taste of it. So we don't drink a lot of soda. So Dylan was introduced to soda last year. He liked it. He somehow swindled me on Diamond. We'll get into that story another time with his little scamming ass. But Friday is soda day. Like he knows on Friday he can have a soda, right? But what I love is that Dylan, because he knows that we try to avoid over consuming sugar. Because one thing about me, baby, sugar addicts anonymous right here. Okay,
Me
I'm a
is
recovering sugar
pasta.
addict. I just
For
love
me is
sugar.
fucking like I'm not even a sweets girl, and I think it's funny. Like people will probably look at me and see my size and be like, "Oh, you did just be eating everything." No, I really don't. I don't really drink soda like that. I don't like the taste of sweets, and it's
Mm,
again, it's because I also had I don't think she was an almond mom because she wasn't even physically fit herself. She
I'm dead.
just was very restrictive about what I specifically ate. I
Mm.
don't like I candy. I don't fuck with candy like that. And I
No,
think
I
people
love
think
candy. I
I
love
don't fuck,
sweets.
but put some pasta in front of me, crimes are getting committed, okay? I'm going
Listen,
Italy to live my best fucking life.
listen, and
Like,
that's the thing, cause we have things we love. I love anything that the girlies say is bad for you. I love it. I
mm,
love bread. I love cheese.
I don't
I
fuck
like
with
decadent
bread.
food. Oh, girl, I
Bread
love
and
bread.
rice, like I'm not a bread and rice girl, but pasta, I will eat
Hey,
that shit
Isa,
every fucking day, Deidre. Every
there's only
you bring me a chef, an Italian chef, I will
pasta.
risk my
Thank
marriage
you.
for a man.
Listen, and that's the thing. I like pasta, but not as much as I like bread. Let me tell you, when
Love
I was
pasta.
managing that French bakery, baby, I was in heaven. Okay, I was in heaven. I could literally just go rip off a piece of focaccia bread and just eat
Mm-hmm.
it. I'll
Yeah.
dip it in my olive oil and balsamic vinegar. And I love all types of breads. I love bread so much, like I had to be specific about what kind of texture I crave in today. Like sometimes I'm only in the mood for like a little sourdough. Other times I want something more dense and chewy. Like I am a bread girl.
She's
But
a bread
anyway,
girl.
so with Dylan though, he's very good about like balancing it out. So with
Mm-hmm.
soda day, there are days where he'll be like, I'm gonna skip soda because I want dessert tonight. Because he already knows we're not having dessert and soda in the
Yeah,
same
it
night.
ain't
That's
both.
too much sugar. It's
You
not gonna be
can't
both.
have both.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't really like sugary drinks, but I love sweets. So even if you catch me eating a sweet, I have a bottle of water in hand or maybe like
Mm-hmm.
a cup of almond milk. I just can't tolerate. I'll see somebody with a brownie and a frappuccino and I'm like, girl, how? I can't do it. But my mom raised me that way, right? So I'm
Yeah.
raising Dylan the same. He's got a very healthy relationship with food. He doesn't really care for vegetables. So I give him the vegetables I know he likes and he has fruit every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for lunch or dinner, he'll have an apple instead of veggies with his food. So like
Mm-hmm.
last night, for instance, I made him like some shrimp tacos and I gave him like a cut up apple on the side because I know he gonna eat the apple. And I'll give him a choice. Hey, you want strawberries or apple? Like, what do you want with your food? Because I know you don't want like no vegetables. The
Mm.
only vegetables he likes raw carrot sticks. He likes green
I
beans.
fuck with carrots.
Oh, yes. But he doesn't even like cooked carrots. He only wants raw carrot sticks, like the little baby carrots.
Yeah.
He'll devour those. He'll eat green beans. He'll tolerate broccoli. Those are the only vegetables that really eat those three things.
Listen, you know
And
what's
I don't
funny?
what?
And this gonna be random. This ain't really related to the episode, but broccoli slander growing up was so crazy. Like even the cartoons was like, ugh, broccoli. Like
Broccoli.
kids just don't fuck with broccoli. And then you'd grow up and be like, yo, broccoli is
Broccoli is so
fire. Like,
fucking
what do
good. I
you mean?
love
I
broccoli.
Brussels sprouts?
I was just about to say
Roasted
Brussels sprouts is another one
Brussels
that's crazy
sprouts?
to me. Because Brussels sprouts are really good.
Justice for them bitches. Them things
Yeah.
good. But anyway,
And
so I don't want us to get too into the
yeah.
weeds on like the food in terms of just if somebody is like not really conscious of their
hmm
health at all,
hmm
they don't really think about what's going on with their
hmm
body. Where is one, or what are some small things that you think somebody could start to
hmm
become more health focused in
hmm
like little increments so that it don't feel as big and overwhelming?
Well, that's a good question. I think a really good start is to connect to your body. Check in with yourself and ask yourself how you're feeling. And choose a time of day where you don't have to rush the process, right? So if you have enough time between when you wake up and when you have to start your morning routine, that's a really good time. Like when you wake up in the morning, because that's part of why I kind of realized, like, oh, I need to get my ass moving. What I started doing was I would get up and before I left the bed, I would literally do a physical check-in with myself. Like while I'm stretching in the bed, I'm like, And I would start from the tip of my toes to the top of my head. Like, how do my feet feel right now? How do my ankles feel? Because my body has been through some hell. I fractured one ankle. I had a foot surgery on the other foot the following year. Like my body has been through it. So start with a physical check-in and just literally just okay, how do my feet feel? Wiggle your toes, kind of move your ankles around, and then work your way up every part of your body. How does this part of my body feel? Does it feel sore? How does it feel when I stretch my legs? Things like that. Work your way all the way up. And then based on that assessment, you go from there.
Mhm.
So that's a really good start.
And if you,
Another
sorry
thing,
to cut you off, if you want to
mhm,
learn how to do those types of body scans, like if you having a hard time conceptualizing that, look up like guided meditations online, but
mhm,
put body scan as one of the like guided meditations because there
yes,
are guided ways to do it before you go to sleep.
yes, mhm.
That will like teach you how to kind of get in touch with your body in a way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you added that because I'm able to do that, but some people do need that guidance. So do that. If you're having a hard time doing it on your own, then use those body scans. Do some deep breathing while you're in that process too, and ask yourself how this part feels, how that part feels, etc., etc. Once you do that and you really assess how you feel, then take action based on what needs the most attention. Like if you find that, yo, my feet actually feel sore, soak your feet. You know, like if you can, you obviously probably can't soak your feet in that moment, but make a plan to soak your feet in the coming days. Like, I remember my feet felt a little funny that day. I'm gonna go soak my feet, right? Do some stretching too, like really like stretch your body. And stretch your body and listen to your body. You don't have to go to a yoga class or anything. Stretch your arms high up, breathe through it, slowly bend down, like really just stretch, move your body, make your body do things that it doesn't usually do. Arch your back some, roll your shoulders, move your body, get in touch with your body. Those things help. So that's a really good start. I'm gonna go back to walking, take some
Mm-hmm.
walks. If you don't have enough time in the day to take walks, then this is what you do. When you go someplace and you have to park your car as far away from the door as possible
Mm-hmm.
and walk. Take a
Or
nice,
those lunchtime walks that you talked about earlier are a
yeah,
great way to incorporate walks, but also to take a lot of us do go to walk and don't leave our desk
and
from the
don't
time
leave
we
our desk.
reach
Yep,
till the
it's
time we
true.
leave. Like you need to schedule 15-minute breaks throughout your day. And if you
Yes.
can't manage the 15-minute breaks, then your lunchtime split it between like, okay, I'm gonna take this much time to eat and this much
Mm-hmm.
time to move my body and walk and get sun and parking lot.
Yeah.
Parking
Yeah.
lot it.
So that's the thing. So depending on what your day looks like, because not a lot of people work at desks.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what kind of job you do, if you are working at a desk, then for one, take your lunch break. Take
Yep.
your lunch break. Take your breaks, take your breaks, take your breaks. Even like where I'm currently working, the whole team is like, how the fuck did Deidre get insert manager's name to take a break? I don't play about breaks. I
Mm-hmm.
do not play about breaks. So take your physical breaks, even if it's just to walk away from your computer or whatever you do for a living. So if you do work at a desk, take your breaks. Try doing what me and Daniela used to do. Eat your lunch at your desk, but use your lunch break to move your body, right? If your
Mm-hmm.
job, because some jobs have gotten to the point, some corporate settings don't even allow working lunches because they want people to get into the habit of taking breaks. Because I remember my
Yep.
company my boss would be like, Deidre, like, you're not allowed to eat at your desk. Like, we want you to take your breaks. And then when I explained to her, like, I do take my breaks, but I like to eat at my desk while I'm working so that I can use my 30, because I only had a 30-minute lunch break. So once I
Which
explained
is
that to her, she was,
insane.
which is crazy. So once
Yeah.
I explained that to her, she was like, oh, well, in that case, I'll give you, I'll leave it alone. And if my boss comes to me about it, I'll explain that to them.
Mm-hmm.
So try doing something like that. Eat at your desk, use your 30-minute break to walk the parking lot, especially if the weather conditions allow for it. If you don't work a desk job, if you work a job where you are on your feet all day, you might need to do the opposite, which is relax your body more, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might not need to move your body more. You might need to do more recovery, which
Mm-hmm.
is going back to that stretching, soaking your feet, really getting in touch with your body. Get yourself a back stretcher if you're able to, that you could put in your chair. It's like
Mm-hmm.
this device that like sits in your chair and it kind of
So that
keeps
you
your back
go, yeah.
straight. So you could stretch your back into it occasionally. So those are like really good starts for people who really want to do more to move their bodies, but they don't know where to start. I say do some stretching, do
Mm-hmm.
some walking, and really do your own little body scans and just check in with your body.
Yeah. What I would add there is, and we're gonna talk about this more deeply in a future episode. Do not knock the power of mindful masturbation.
Oh,
Obviously we all masturbate, but mindful masturbation is really getting in touch with your body. And in the same way that Deidre was talking about earlier in terms of like, how does this feel? How does that feel? A lot of us, even in our masturbation, are just trying to get to a certain point and get over with. And
guilty.
yeah, you need to
Because I'm
be
like,
more
well, I didn't know that was a
conscious.
thing.
No, like yeah, you can actually do mindful masturbation. You could look that up to talk about what that looks like. And again, we have a episode about pleasure planned for next season
Mhm.
that I really want to get into that topic. But be mindful even in the way that you touch your body for pleasure, because like that's a part of connecting with your body is even in masturbation, thinking about like, how does this feel? Or how do I feel today? There's people who even think that like manifestation during masturbation is like the most powerful
Oh
kind of
yeah, sex
thing.
magic is that girl. Like there are
Um,
times, there's a time for everybody to engage in
yeah,
that. We'll talk about, maybe we'll have an episode dedicated to like very witchy things and I'll touch on
yeah.
all these little,
Oh,
but
I
there's
here for it.
every single person in the world has an ideal time of year that
Yeah.
they can engage in that. But carry on.
No, I definitely down for that. And the other thing that I was going to add, oh my God, it was mindful masturbation and what else? Oh, dancing. Dancing.
Yes,
Listen,
dancing.
Beyonce said it for a reason. Bounce on that shit, dance. No hand. She was talking about sex, but still, she tell her mother scunt to dance.
No, honestly, it's true. I wish I thought of dancing,
Dancing,
but I'm not much of a dancer. But dancing is a really good
yeah.
start.
And it's
Yeah.
not even just like it's not even oh go to a dance class. Like
Do it at
move
home by
your
yourself.
put on some music and
Yes.
shake your ass,
Shake your ass
okay?
throughout the house. Let me tell
And
you,
don't be
even
afraid
like,
to look stupid. Like I don't
yeah,
be
like,
dancing like you know them white girl dances that'll be like swinging their hands and shit. Like
yeah,
that's me. I don't be
yes,
going crazy sometimes when I at home
yeah.
because that like just moving your body
It
for the
gets
sake of just
energy out of your
yeah,
body. Yes. So,
yeah,
and I
it's
don't do
so
that
good.
too. I didn't even think about that. Like when you blasting your music, doing your chores, dance around the
Mm-hmm.
house, like that shit is fun and it's good for your body. Because that's the thing, that's a way of getting your heart rate up. Because the whole point is to get that blood flow going, to get blood moving through your body more seamlessly, to
Mm-hmm.
elevate your heart rate. You know what I mean? Dance, girl. That's a good one here, Isa. I like that
Yeah.
you added a dance.
Like
Yeah.
dancing is a part like it's a part of that physical fitness. Like basically the whole point of this episode is if you do not feel connected to your body, if you do not, and when I say you don't feel connected, if you don't think about what's going on in your body on a regular day-to-day basis, like you
Mm-hmm.
don't even think about this vessel
Mm-hmm.
that is moving you through life, then there's some work that you probably have to do in connecting with your body. I know that that's something that is really, really missing in my life. I feel like the mental health piece I've done a lot of work on. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like because of the trauma that I have from childhood and my body and all of that stuff, I had to kind of like leave my body on the back burner in order to really heal my mental health and like focus on that part. But now where I'm getting to is there are even parts of my trauma as I try to heal that because
Mm.
I'm so disconnected from my body, I'm having a difficult time navigating sorting like therapy,
Mm.
practices and things like that because I'll be in therapy and we'll go through like specific meditations or whatever. And I'll be doing somatic practice and we going through specific meditations and they're talking about connecting with your body. And I'm just like, how the fuck do I do that?
Mm.
But movement has been really helpful in that because when I start, especially with a dancing part, when I started just like dancing in my house, I didn't realize how stupid I feel dancing sometimes because I'm so disconnected from my body. Like,
Mm.
so walking, dancing, when you bathe at night and you like lotioning yourself, being more
Yeah.
intentional about taking time to like lotion your body and like touch your own body.
Yeah, I don't mo when I tell you
Yeah.
I don't do that shit every single time I bathe. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't skip like that step, that moisturizing. And
Yeah.
speaking of moisture, right? Hydration.
Yeah.
Like, babe,
Drink,
listen, water is
drink your
life.
water.
Just drink your water. If you don't enjoy the taste of water, add some fruit to your water or even honestly, add like a tiny splash of fruit juice to your water if you need to. Like, I don't believe in trying to force things. So if you really don't enjoy water and you prefer to hydrate with juice, it's not good for you to hydrate with juice all the time. Figure out ways to hydrate. You could get those little H2O, I think it's called liquid IV or whatever. You could
Mm-hmm.
get those to try to add to your water because that multiplies the hydration and that helps. But if you don't like the taste of water, find ways to make the taste better, right? Add a splash of apple juice to your water if you need to, add some fruit, or even set like a goal for yourself and pace your water throughout the entire day. Ideally, we should be getting half our body weight in ounces in water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking at least 75 ounces of water.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really lofty goal for some people who don't drink much water or who don't like water. So start with figure out how much water you do drink in a day. And if you really only drinking like one or two of them little 17-ounce plastic bottles of water,
You wildin'.
then you have a lot of work to do, and
You
that's
wildin'.
okay. So progress there. So if you know you can only get through two of those little bottles of water a day, then aim to get through three, right? make a promise to yourself that you're gonna finish 3 of those bottles of water for the day. And if that third bottle is a struggle, keep aiming for that until you could confidently finish those 3 bottles in a day. Once you get to that three, then push for 4, right? But you should be drinking more water. And then like I get set those water goals, and then before you know it, you're gonna get to that half your body weight in ounces, and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be so proud of yourself, and your body is gonna reward you for it too. You're gonna see how even simply adding hydration to your daily routine is gonna make certain changes that you're gonna be like, holy shit, like I didn't even like realize,
Mm-hmm.
because I learned later down the road that a big part of why I was constantly getting injured when I was working out, the hydration wasn't my struggle. I was malnourished.
Mm.
Even though I was 20 something pounds overweight, I was malnourished because the quality of the foods I wasn't eating wasn't all there. Now, granted, I already have a relatively balanced diet. I wasn't getting enough protein in,
Mm.
and there was certain nutrients that I was deficient in. Like I needed more magnesium and things like that. So that's part of why I was constantly getting injured, because my body wasn't properly fueled to do the job that I was requiring of it. I was putting my body through something that it was not equipped to do
Yeah.
because I wasn't properly fueling my body. You know what I mean?
Listen, I need to force my husband to listen to this episode in particular because that man started bowling, right? He started
Mhm.
bowling, like doing league, doing competitive.
Mhm.
And you would be surprised. I gonna say no, y'all might not think that bowling is a fucking
Oh,
workout.
them balls are heavy, and the amount of swinging you gotta do and all that shit with your
And
arms
even
and your whole
sometimes your legs,
body.
yeah, your legs will get sore. It like it's a core workout. It requires like your
Mhm.
back muscles, all types
It's
of
the
shit.
use of your entire body. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I used to just go bowling for like an hour here and there to like a, you go to the bowling alley randomly, I was like, bowling ain't nothing. When I start bowling with this man and we were there for 2+ hours, it's a workout. And he
Mhm.
would come home and knees hurting, hips hurting, parts of his body hurting, like aching that he never thought about before. And I
Mhm.
was like, yo, you need to be stretching. You need to be doing aftercare
Mhm.
because you're working out, but you're also playing a sport. Like you think athletes to just run off the basketball court and go home?
Absolutely not. No, there's
Like,
stretching that's required.
yeah,
And let me tell you, if you're
but
not
they're doing
stretching
ice
and
baths,
stuff,
they're taking supplements, they're doing all of this shit to
mhm.
make sure that they are taking care of their body for what they want to do. So
Mhm.
like you need to also think about what is it that you do in your lifestyle on a regular basis and like what does your body need from you in order to live up to that, in order to
And
provide you the energy for that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because remember I said earlier, for some people, it might not be that you need to move your body more. It might be that you need to invest more in recovery, right? Like he might need to soak in the tub
Yeah.
occasionally. Like he needs to get himself rubbed down. He might need to invest in getting a massage once or twice a month, like
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Even remember, because off air, I was telling her, I said that my gym is about 30 minutes away when there's like no traffic. And she's like, girl, why are you going 30 minutes away? Because I require certain amenities from my gym, because
Mm-hmm.
the thing is what the last time I did a body scan, I do fall in the athlete category now. There's certain things I'm putting my body through, especially because I'm on my feet all day at work. Like I need to have
Yeah.
access to certain recovery, right? I need a gym with a sauna, a steam room, and a clean sauna and steam room.
Period.
You know what I mean? For me, like being able to soak in like a hot tub, right? Like I don't need a hot tub for my gym because I could soak in the tub here at home, but it's nice that my gym has one. You know what I mean? Like things like that. So, but that's because I'm in a position to do those things. For those of you who it's just not something that's accessible to you, right? If you have a bathtub, soak in the tub with some Epsom or even just sea salt. Put some sea salt in the tub, soak in some bath water, as hot as you can
Listen, that
tolerate it.
Epsom salt with a lavender in it. Ooh.
Baby girl, okay?
Period.
Soak in that thing. Listen, if you are somebody who's not single, like if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whatever, please ask them for a rub down. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, let me tell you, I don't understand how people are be in these streets and have a whole like person that they fucking and they don't be asking for rub downs. Let me tell you,
I don't
any
even ask for
man
them.
who has been what you said?
I said I don't even ask for them no more. Sometimes I'll come out the show, he'd be like, "You want a massage?" I'd be like, "Yes,
Exactly. Let me tell you,
yes,
so
please."
I haven't been in a relationship in a while, but anybody that I've been involved with in the last couple years has rubbed my feet at some
Mm-hmm.
point. I don't hesitate. That one sneaky link that I talked about years ago on the podcast, he knew the drill. When he come to Deidre house, he used to just be like, "What moisturizer you want me to use for your foot rub?" Because I come rub these feet, come rub.
Yeah.
My last little tawdry affair when he used to come over, I used to be like, Papa, leg day was yesterday. He used to be like, go for the oil. Like,
Like
hello.
rub my feet, period.
Like he would be
Yeah.
like, Mama, what you do? Like sometimes like my hamstrings would be a little bit too sore. Like, baby, if
Yeah.
you got a life partner or anybody who is, and that go for man and woman. Okay. If you got somebody that you're romantically involved with, ask for a rub down, rub them
Yeah.
down, rub each other down. Like
It's
your
also
body
so good for intimacy, I will say.
it's
Like,
great for intimacy, but your body also needs that. Like your
mm-hmm.
muscles, the muscles in your body, they need that like stimulation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so things like that. Recovery is just as important. Like that physical wellness is like so necessary. It's so, and the thing is you're gonna extend your life, the life of your
Mm-hmm.
body, you know, like a big part of like when I went and started taking physical fitness more seriously, it was obviously because I had put on a lot of weight. But even in me having put on that weight, I remember so vividly, I was laying in the bed, it was the middle of the night, and I was like, yo, like I only have one child and I pray he give me a gang of grandchildren and I want to play with those grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be outside with my grandchildren. Okay. I want to be rolling around in the grass. I really
Yeah.
want it to be lit. And because, you know, obviously like by then I'm gonna be retired. So I'm gonna have the time to bond with them and shit. I'm like, I don't want to be winded hanging out with my grandchildren. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like,
For
let me start
me,
from
it's
now.
travel. Like every time I go on a trip, now that I've gained so much more weight, I notice it especially when I'm traveling and we have longer
Mm,
days and we're walking around a lot and I'm getting like exhausted, right? And
yeah.
I want to be able to like keep up on trips, but I
Mm,
also want to be able to like, for me, it's about strength. Like, I this gonna sound so stupid. Y'all know when you don't have dreams where you fighting and
hmm
you trying to fight, but because you sleeping, like you feel like you punching in slow motion or like you trying
mm,
to run in a like my fear is that that gonna happen in real life because I'm not physically fit. Like somebody gonna try to square
mm.
up and I gonna get winded.
That's a valid fear,
So
though. That's a valid fear.
I want to get strong up so that I know like square
Let
up,
me
like
tell
you know,
you, hey,
that's my
Isa, and that's the
motivation.
thing. Those like in real time life rewards that come from like a consistent like fitness routine, it's just so lit.
Yeah.
I'll never forget me and Dylan were this was last summer. We were on our way to Atlanta and we had our early morning flight. And one thing about it, me and Dylan each check a bag. We don't do like carry-ons and all that shit. So me and Dylan going downstairs to catch our Uber. And one thing we don't fill up our suitcases. Why the
Mm-hmm.
fuck I going down? And you see the stairs in my old apartment here,
First
Isa.
of all, when I came to visit you, and I don't overpack like a motherfucker because I was going on two trips, right? I had come to see Deidre, but I was
And then
also
you went
going
to
to another.
Florida.
Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
Florida after, so I had a big ass bag. Deidre snatched that bag out my hand, like I was like, "Oh, wait,
And I just
what?"
up the
And
stairs.
walk, and when I tell her these stairs are steep, they are
They were
angled,
steep.
they are tiny. Deidre
They
to
are
walk up the
tiny.
stairs, she had make my bag feel like a fucking purse, like.
I literally just and I just went up the stairs. That shit is so
But the
fucking fire.
funniest part was that the Uber driver had just take out my bag out of the car before I had get up to like your porch or whatever. And he didn't struggle, but like you could tell the bag was heavy because he had make a joke about it. So he kind of lift the bag like, well, damn girl, like where you going? And then
For
Deidre pick
real?
up that shit like bitch and she stairs. Deidre strung up, you know.
I strung up
Deidre
back, and
strung
that's the
up.
thing. I like so I got a big old dunk. I got this little frame up top, but I strung. But it was so funny. But even like when me and Dylan was getting ready to go, our Uber driver's waiting downstairs. I said, "Oh, Dylan, go ahead of me." I grabbed both suitcases, and I just went down the stairs with me and Dylan's suitcase in each hand, and he was like,
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, mom." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, all that time I spent in the gym. That's why I'm able to do this. And he's like,
Yep.
that's cool. You know, like, so
And
I
that's what I
love
want.
that.
I'm
And
excited to see the things that I know my
that you
body could
can
possibly
do.
do. And I
Yes.
feel like I haven't challenged myself to that point yet. So I'm actually like at the beginning point of what I think is going to be a very interesting fitness journey for me. I'm actually excited to be in Atlanta with both you and Ludens because you and Ludens are like the two main people
Ludens
in my
is coming
life.
to
And
Pilates with me.
yeah, and Ludens out here, like going crazy in the gym right now.
No
Like the
hate of you.
things, but it's fun to watch the things that he's done with his body in like 2 months. I'm
And
like,
that's the
okay, hey,
beauty
Isa,
of a,
get it
and that's
together.
the thing. And I want to add, this is more so like for the girlies who definitely want to be more like aesthetic or whatever. So for one, when you separate like the physical, like the look of things, it's easier to like see results and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
However, body recompositions tend to be most successful for people who have never really done it. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ludens has always been very skinny. You see how quickly he was able to build that
Mm-hmm.
muscle. People who even like heavier people who strength train, they see results very quickly because again, you're recom it's a body recomposition, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're doing things, you're essentially building a new body, if you will.
Yeah.
It takes time, but you do see results fast because even my nieces who pointed out, and even my old trainer who pointed out, like I started to see results. Once I started training with him and I was doing more strength training,
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you same as Ludens, I think within like a month and a half, 2 months,
Yeah.
you start to see more
Because
definition
even
appear.
on
I
the
think you
podcast,
pointed
you
it
could
out
see
too.
it
Yeah.
because Deidre, you could have see it literally within a season on the podcast. It was like we had start a season and the Inter said like you had looked that different, but like you could
But
have
by the end
see
of the
your
season,
collarbone,
I
like your
remember you
shoulders.
pointing it out too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I was
that
like, Deidre, you look
definition.
fucking good.
You're like, oh, did you good? And then by the
Yeah.
following season, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, bitch.
So I wait,
So
and if it
yes.
don't happen, don't send us here, but just
And you know
wait.
what? I'm gonna just go ahead and announce this because I tend to take a long time to jump on things, right? So I created a platform called MBS Wellness. M like Mary, B like boy, S like Sam. And MBS Wellness stands for mind, body, soul. And it's literally a platform to help us just have a space to properly invest in our mental, physical, and spiritual wellness, mind, body, soul. And so follow it. It's called at MBS Wellness Online on Instagram. I'm gonna start actually posting content there, but the this objective with that platform is to share like resources on how to essentially sustain a wellness journey. Because for me, it's not just about like going to the gym and everything. It's your mental wellness, right? Which we've been covering for years on this show. Your physical wellness, how you're using and fueling your body, but also obviously because y'all know what I do, your spiritual wellness, right? Because spirituality is not just about like witchy things and astrology, and it's also just however you connect to your spiritual life, right? Whatever that looks like for you. So follow at MBS Wellness Online. I'm actually in the process right now of putting together a like yoga and picnic day. I'm trying to make it a free event.
I love it.
So yes, I'm committed to making it a free event. I'm trying to make this platform as accessible as possible because the thing, wow, the timing is so crazy because I forgot that this was the episode we were recording today. I remember who my person being good up was,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole reason why I created this platform is so that there could be more accessibility and inclusivity in the fitness and wellness spaces because those spaces have been so heavily commodified, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the things that are utilized in those spaces are things that we should have access to for free, like moving our bodies. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Connecting to people as we move our bodies. But the reality is, and I wish we discussed this more in the episode, is fitness, wellness, all those things have been commodified in such a way that it feels inaccessible. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's a big part of why people don't succeed at a fitness or wellness journey is because it does get expensive. It just is what it
Mm-hmm.
is. It's an expensive process. I'm grateful and fortunate and blessed to have been able to match my energetic and emotional investment with a financial investment. Some people are not in a position to do that, and that's why I created MBS Wellness, so that that single mom who really wants to make more time for herself but cannot because she's got multiple kids to take care of, and all of your resources have to go to your survival, right? Eating, keeping a roof over your head. You don't have the finances to go to like the gym and all that shit. MBS
Mm-hmm.
Wellness is there to provide
Yeah.
tools and everything you need to try to just invest more in yourself without
Yeah.
having to be in a financial
Yeah.
deficit. So
To
give me
figure out what that looks like without,
to
like
ex
some people just don't want to go to the gym and that's fine.
And you
But
shouldn't have to go to the gym. There's so
mm-hmm.
many ways to take care of yourself that don't involve shelling out a lot of money and that also don't involve going to the gym. You can absolutely be active and move your body and never
Mm-hmm.
even involve a gym, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what MBS Wellness is there for, to help you curate your own wellness journey and commit to it and actually see enjoy the fruits of your labor, if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Yeah.
So give it a follow, because there's gonna be a lot of things to look forward to, including something that may or may not happen while Hayaiza's in town for the Good Up
Yeah.
podcast live event.
Yeah, when we record this episode, so y'all are gonna hear this episode in about a week after we record it. But when we record this episode, we are officially a month out from Good Up Live in Atlanta. We're so excited. We are very excited to meet and see those of you who are in Atlanta. If you have not bought your tickets, buy your tickets
Buy your
because
tickets,
if that
babe.
place sell out and ain't get no more seats, I will not be the person at the door, and neither will Deidre. And the people we putting at the door, they get attitude. So make sure you
They
buy
don't,
your ticket.
I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna tell y'all right now,
They
the
would
people
tell you
who
how
be
to
at that
leave.
door, they already know if they ain't got a ticket, they're not coming in this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Okay?
Buy your
They take their
tickets. But and not even just for the show, like before the show even starts, there's going to be a vendor market, and every single business owner who is a part of this vendor
oh,
market is
I'm
a
so
Virgin
excited.
Islander and is a Virgin Islands woman, which is mind blowing, and we're so excited
Oh
about
my
that.
God, that's what I wanted. First of all, let's take a moment to, this is for us by us, right? This
Mhm.
event is obviously for anybody who wants to come, but we have a DJ from where?
The Virgin Islands.
The Virgin Islands. We have
Mhm.
vendors from where?
The Virgin
The
Islands.
Virgin Islands. The restaurant is not a Virgin Islands owned restaurant that we're
But it
having
is
it at,
Caribbean
but it's
owned.
a Caribbean
Yeah.
restaurant. And the food is gonna be good, y'all. The food is
Mhm.
gonna be so good. I'm gonna finalize the menu today and send it to you so you could
Perfect.
finish. But
Yeah.
listen, y'all, when I went to like scout the venues, I bought something off the menu, babe. The food be smelling so good. I got their oh God, it was tacos. It was like steak
Mhm.
tacos. Some shit was good as fucking hell. And actually, I was just getting text messages from the owner of the restaurant because we about to meet up. Not today, but we're meeting up. Baby,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get their jerk egg rolls. They have these like
Listen.
the food.
And there will be like the restaurant is going to be open while we having this show. So it's going to be like a
Hmm.
dinner and a show kind of situation. You can order
Yes.
food off of a special menu that we're going to have out. So yeah, there's going to be a vendor market beforehand. There's going to be a cocktail hour where we have a special mixologist coming out. She's going to have a signature cocktail and a signature mocktail for y'all,
Yes.
and it's complimentary. And
Yep.
then you go head into the show, and it's going to be basically what we're doing now, but on 10.
But
We're going
on
to have a
with
live episode with y'all.
in
You gonna be
person.
in the studio with us to chat shit and talk about the things that we all love. So we're very excited. The lowest ticket for this event is $20. I believe that table seating is 25. We have some VIP booths available if you want to sit with your friends and have a special like cocktail while you sit in your little booth.
And
Um,
I'm so sorry to cut you off, and
mhm.
not to and this is not because this is my event and I'm selling it or whatever. Your best bet, especially if you and a group of friends want to come, the most financially sound thing to do would be to get a VIP booth. The
Mhm,
VIP booth seats up to 5 people.
mhm,
And so you guys can all split the cost of the VIP booth and end up like, let's say you and 4 other friends decide, let's just get a VIP booth. By the time each of you guys split up the cost of the booth, you're probably only paying like $40 to $45 per person.
mhm,
But the VIP booth is going to include some shareable appetizers that come with your booth. You're going
mhm,
to all get like a picture of the signature cocktail or mocktail, whichever you guys choose. You would agree on that ahead of time. You get like a picture of the cocktail or mocktail. You get some shareable appetizers to the table, obviously like water or whatever. And then you get like premium seating that's like nice and comfy and cozy. And it's your assigned booth. You don't have to
mhm.
worry about bumping into people. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be a time. It's gonna
we're
be a
excited.
time.
And this is all made possible by our title sponsor, the Virgin Islands Lottery. We're so excited to be able to host
Yes,
this event. Thank you again to the VI Lottery team for what you have made possible. So,
literally.
listen, I just excited that we're having this event, whether there's two people in that bitch or 25 or 50.
Or the whole entire, I don't
Yeah,
care who comes. I'm just glad y'all are coming. Thank you
yeah,
guys.
this is a goal that we set for ourselves a very long time ago, and it's actually going to become a reality. Also, I get to see my sister. I'm like I going to Atlanta and I'm excited about that. So
I am so excited. Like, y'all, it's gonna
I
be really fun. We're
yeah,
gonna
we're
have
so excited.
such a good time. Like, the fact that we have a VI DJ is just sending me.
Hmm.
Okay, like the fact that we got these vendors, I'm looking forward to spending up my money with our vendors.
Yeah.
My good sis Zoe over at Mixed Feelings, if I'm not mistaken, she is one of the vendors,
We
which
have
y'all,
Mixed Feelings. We have Patrick's Boutique. We have Izora Botanical Beauty. Mercedes has been on the podcast before.
she's gonna be
Um,
there.
Yeah, she's gonna be there. She's one of the vendors. Merch Carnival is one of the vendors for those of you who love your carnival merch. Kicking It is going to be there.
No, I need to get my
Who
fucking doll hairs in
else?
a row. Fuck.
Mia Leora is
Cleo
going
gonna
to
be
be
there.
there
That's
as well. That's
right.
one of our
Y'all,
vendors. So shout out
stop
to all of
playing.
them, all amazing VI women, all amazing Black women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, see you there. Be there or be fucking square. And if you ain't in Atlanta, but you nearby, find your way to Atlanta. Or if you know people that are in
Yeah.
Atlanta, tell them to
Mm-hmm.
come. Okay.
And also, if you're like, especially like if you're a listener of the show, hop in the comment section of our posts and see who in the comments is also in Atlanta. You might make some new friends. You
Hmm.
and a couple strangers be like, hey, let's go, let's split a VIP booth or whatever the case may be. Really gauge who's going to be there so you could come. Because the objective of this event obviously is for us to do what we do, but it's also
Hmm.
to build community. We want
Yep.
our listeners to become friends, to get to know each other, to bond.
Yep.
This is going to be a fun time. It's a summer function. Baby, we finna look good, smell good, and have the time of our lives. And we're gonna eat good too. So we're
Yeah.
gonna see y'all there.
So we will see y'all in June and we'll also see you next week. With that being said, you know where to find us. And yeah, take care of your fucking body. Don't make me slap you. Deidre, tell the
Yeah.
people.
Bye.
The Good Up Podcast is sponsored by the Virgin Islands Lottery. This podcast is Virgin Islands hosted and produced by Deidre Ritter and Heiza Quinones Ivory. Follow us on all social media platforms at Good Up Pod. Join the VIP section over at patreon.com/gooduppodcast and get access to exclusive bonus content, or visit our website and read more about our episodes at goodupvi.com. This season of the Good Up Podcast is proud to be sponsored by Empath Psychological Services, The Blend Collective, and Greater Changes.